Half a day and welcome to my story. I'm Louise Borja. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. In this episode, we will talk to a family member of a great cancer advocate, a couple of doctors about the importance of screenings, and an organization about their campaign to bring awareness to the community by getting your pink on. We hope this episode eases minds about mammograms and reminds you to get yours annually. Half a day and welcome to this episode of My Story. My name is Louise and I wanted to introduce to you as a very special person in our lives, especially for the breast cancer advocacy. Rosalie Zabala's daughter, we have her with us, Christine Dula.
Yes.
Thank you very much for being here today.
Thank you so much for inviting me to be here. It's such an honor to be able to still share my mom's story.
Yeah, and that's really what it's about. It's about sharing your mom's story because not only was she an advocate for breast cancer awareness, or she ended up having breast cancer herself.
That's correct.
Do you remember when she first was diagnosed and what was her feeling and how she told you about it?
I can still recall, actually, it was just the week after she turned 60 on her 60th birthday. And this was back in 2016. And when she received her results that she was positive, that she has breast cancer, I just remember being with her at St. Anthony's Church.
Oh, you were there
I was
with
there
her.
with her. She wanted to make sure she wasn't alone, and I wanted to make sure she wasn't alone.
Okay.
So from there, we had her appointment to see the doctor to actually go through the test results. And I just remember her just going through the process of almost like grief, where she was, denial first, like, no, this can't be, you know.
Like me?
Like me? Right.
Yeah.
It can't be me.
Okay.
But I think after that initial confirmation that she had it, she just kind of let go. I remember her just feeling like, I don't know what to say anymore. She was speechless, right?
Your mom is very rarely
she
speechless.
Was very,
She's very rarely. She could get in a good word.
Right. So at that time, I said, okay. So I think I made her just have that moment. But from that time, I know she immediately went back into that proactive mode. I need to call this person. I need to call, to get more answers or to get more advice and whatnot. But then
about her condition.
About her condition, because she still couldn't believe it.
Wow.
And she still couldn't grasp that it happened to her now. It's her now. It's her. She's on that side.
On the other side.
On the other side.
But what year was this?
This was in 2016.
2016,
February,
when she was diagnosed.
Right. So she turned 60 February 16 of 2016. Wow, all this.
Well, she was with the Department of Public Health and Social Services.
Yes.
She had been with the public health for a while.
Decades, I believe almost like 30, maybe a little over 30 years too.
Was she in the breast cancer screening and detection?
Yes, that was one of the programs that she was.
Started,
yes.
Wow,
Yeah.
Look at that. Do you think, because your mom was also a very spiritual lady, do you think that maybe God gave her this because she was strong enough to deliver that message as a testimonial?
It's nice how you brought that up, because I remember her actually having those doubts with God. She started questioning about her spirituality. Actually, she questioned God. Why me? I thought I was doing good. I was trying to help others already, but yet you gave it to me. And I think when she accepted, that's when she learned that maybe I am going to be that tool to reach out to more people and how to better, work with,
Right.
having
Tell the
cancer
story.
and tell the story.
Right.
Yes.
From her eyes.
From her eyes.
Yeah.
And I think that's what made her be more passionate about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then she felt like, now I am in those shoes, I can be a better advocate
Mm-hmm.
because I can now say, I know exactly how you feel.
She wasn't afraid to cry. Like when she, even though she was a strong woman, when she told her story, every time there was a proclamation signing or some event where we had to talk about breast cancer awareness, she wasn't afraid to get up there and let all her emotions go. And that's why when I saw you today, I said, if you want to cry, your mom was not afraid of crying. She was very passionate. And I do remember that anger. I do remember her feeling angry, like, why me?
Yes. Right.
I mean, where are you leading me to, God? I remember her asking that question. So she was diagnosed in 2016.
Correct.
And she went through her journey, right? I'm sure it was a challenging journey.
Yes.
She had to go off island.
She decided to go to the Philippines
Okay.
to go for her treatment there at St. Luke's. So then from there, it was the struggle of having to come back and forth. And then also, I think the biggest reason why she said, so even with that, even with everything that's happening to her, she still thought about everyone else's needs. Like, I don't want to be a burden to you. You have your family. I'll just go there because I have my brothers and sisters to help take care of me. And so it just shows that my mom, no matter
She was
what,
selfless.
it's always
Yeah.
everyone else's needs
Yeah.
first.
So how long was her journey before she succumbed to
so
breast cancer?
I would say about a little over 2 years, because from 2016, we were back and forth until 2018, in May is when she had passed.
Just 2 years.
Yes.
Wow.
2 years.
God works in mysterious ways, right? But she never stopped. She never stopped. And do you think now that her strength is going through you to go out and tell her story so that you can continue this advocacy that she started? It's big shoes to fill, actually.
It sure is. And I hear her voice. I hear her moments of weakness, and I still hear her say, because she calls me.
Do you hear her now?
I think I guess.
I think I hear her. I think she's here with us, right?
She's here.
She's giving you strength.
She does, and it's always during the moments I need it. I feel her.
Do you have a daughter as well
I
too?
do. I have a daughter, and I have 2 sons, so I have 3. And that was one of her biggest happiness too, is knowing that she has grands.
Yeah.
She's like, just to let you know, I may love them more. Is that okay? I said, that's okay, Mom.
That's so sweet. Okay, so her journey as an advocate and a fighter, and then her as a survivor, a warrior, right? You want to say a warrior because she fought till the end.
She did.
How is this now with you, and then passing that message down to your daughter? How important is it for you to continue that health aspect of it, and then to pass on that message to your daughter?
She always tells us, health is wealth, right? And having my own daughter and having my own children, even for myself, I had to also be more proactive about my health. And I had to also set a good example for my kids. So we're very active. It's, we do sports, so we do soccer, so we want to make sure our physical activities are there. We try to eat healthy, yes.
It's hard to do.
It's hard to do.
It's hard to do. But, if you have the goal in mind, that, little by little, little steps, right?
Right. And the biggest thing is always trying to make time for our mental. So we're very close in our family. My kids, we always try to do activities as a family. We go on trips or even just spend time together. And that was the thing that my mom really wanted us
Is to be together.
And enjoy life. Enjoy life.
Your mom was sat on this seat as well in my story in 2017. And we just want to thank her, and then thank you for being a part of. I feel like I'm honored to have been in her life, in this huge world that we have, and we were privileged to know your mom. And I just want to thank you for sharing her story and continuing it, because this message that she passed on to us to pass on to people is so important, you know, for family, for love.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I want to thank you so much for being part of my story.
Thank you so much.
I
as
can
well.
hear her.
I can.
She's saying you did a good job, Chris.
Oh my gosh.
Well, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having
give
me.
my love to the entire family.
I will. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you. And again, thank you for joining us here on My Story. Coming up next, we will talk to a couple of doctors about mammograms and your screening. Stay tuned here for My Story. Welcome back to My Story. We're here at Guam Radiology Consultants. In just a little bit, we'll talk with Dr. Peachy Piana. She's the Director of Women's Imaging. But for now, we have the Director for Guam Radiology here, Dr. Nathaniel Berg. Hi, Dr. Berg. Thank you for taking time out to talk with us about, you know, the very, very important work that you do here. Even though you're very young, you've been a radiologist for a long time. So I wanted to ask, how have you seen I guess the climate or the mentality of women now getting screened? Is there the percentages, are they higher, or how do you, if you can just explain that?
Sure. Actually, the good news is that we have a much higher screening rate for all cancers on Guam. Over the last 30 years, we've seen a huge increase in the number. And that gives you an idea how long I've been here. So that makes me very happy. And a big part of that is I would say almost national, or you could say even international effort to empower women to take charge of their health care to the extent possible. Here, what we've done over the last several decades is encourage women to talk to their healthcare providers on at least an annual basis once they reach age 40, that is. So that means that they talk to them and say, hey, I haven't had my mammogram in a year. And the current recommendation is that every woman over age 40 get a mammogram done every year. But those are recommendations, and they need to talk about them with their healthcare provider. But healthcare providers are busy, and sometimes things slip through the cracks, and they might not bring up breast screening. So we ask every woman to do it. Talk to your healthcare provider and say, hey, it's been a year, am I due for my mammogram?
What about, are we noticing, is there a rise in breast cancer diagnosis in women much younger? I've known several women who have been detected with breast cancer that are under the age 40. So when should they start thinking about that if they do have issues in their family?
That's a good point. The majority of breast cancers occur over age 40, but it's important for us to catch the breast cancers as early as possible, but particularly in younger women where the breast cancers tend to be more aggressive. So family history is incredibly important there. We generally recommend that you start breast cancer screening 10 years before a first-degree relative, that's a mother, a sister, or a daughter, was diagnosed with breast cancer. And it's tailored to each woman, and as breast imaging specialists, we can help work with you and your healthcare provider to make that determination. The other thing that we emphasize is that if you sense anything is wrong with your breasts, that is even just a vague sense of pain, or if you, of course, feel anything that's abnormal, or you experience nipple discharge or redness in part of your breast, that you really kind of quickly go to your healthcare provider and discuss what you found.
Okay, great. And we're standing on opposite sides of this 3D machine here, and to some people it could look very intimidating, but this is probably one of the latest technology, yes?
Yeah, in fact, the equipment we have here is the latest that exists in breast mammography. That is mammography imaging. There are different ways we look at the breast, ultrasound and MRI, but for mammography, a 3D picture provides incredible detail. We're very happy to have this here on Guam. Not all small or isolated communities are fortunate enough to have the latest machines, and we do have it. So.
We're back again here with Dr. Peachy Piana, and thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedule.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Of course, absolutely. I mean, a woman radiologist, how often do you get to see that, especially here on Guam? October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and I wanted to ask you, are you noticing if the messaging is going out there, are more women getting screened in the month of October, or do you just see it regularly happening?
That's a really interesting question because, since we're experiencing this pandemic for the last almost 2 years, in the beginning we had a significant decrease in the number of women coming in for screening. But I think more and more people are realizing that we're not really sure when the pandemic will end and we cannot keep delaying our healthcare needs. So it has been pretty helpful. I think all of the messaging that's been going on in Breast Cancer Awareness Month, it's pretty strong. And even though we're early in the month, we are seeing more patients coming in to get their screening mammograms.
Breast cancer awareness, or breast cancer really, if there's a detection of something unusual in there, even just a few months can make a very big difference, couldn't it?
Yes, for
Okay.
sure. When we detect cancers that are stage 0 or stage 1, the prognosis and survival rate is much higher than when it's caught at a later stage. So we really recommend for patients to see their doctors right away if they have any symptoms whatsoever, and if they are due for their annual screening mammogram, as much as possible, try to keep on schedule.
So that's particularly why mammograms then should be done every year, is because the progression of that cancer could really be aggressive, right? And so you want to make sure that you catch it early on.
Exactly.
Normally, women ages 40 and up, right, is a recommendation for screening. Is there a particular reason why that is at 40?
Yes. So although it could be confusing for some patients because there are varying organizations that put up guidelines and with varying recommendations, all major organizations, health organizations, do agree that starting screening mammography at age 40 and doing it annually every year saves the most lives. So the American College of Radiology, Society of Breast Imaging, and also the American College of Breast Surgeons all agree that all recommend that annual screening mammography at age 40 is really the way to go.
Okay, and then I guess to know your own body too, right? I guess that would be a good indication of whether you should be concerned even prior to age 40 if you notice something's different in your breast, right? That they should at least talk to their doctor.
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Self-exams are really important. A lot of times we diagnose women who are younger than 40 with breast cancer. In fact, I have been practicing here in Guam for 3 years, and surprisingly, I've diagnosed over 10 patients who are younger than 30. I'm sorry,
40?
younger than 40.
Wow, okay.
With breast cancer, and they all found their cancers through their own self-exam.
Wow.
So that's really important to really get to know your breast. What we recommend is doing your breast exam on the 10th day of your cycle. So if you start your period on day 1, you just count to 10. That's
Okay.
the 10th day is because the hormones are more balanced. Your breast tissue is a little bit less lumpy, bumpy, as
Right.
people might say. So you can really tell if it's
There's
something
to be
abnormal.
concerned. Okay.
Exactly. But it could be hard to remember, especially with women who have irregular periods. So day 10 they might not know when day 10 is. So one other way that we recommend doing breast exams, self-breast exams, is just doing it on either the first day of the month or maybe the last day of the month. Just choosing for your own self.
Okay, so
what
where
day
you
of
would
the month.
remember,
Exactly.
right? Okay, great.
So like just doing it period is more important than like finding out your exact cycle, right?
Okay.
The day of your cycle.
No, that's a good point of view, especially coming from a woman, right? Because I think that's important to talk about the menstrual cycles, because people don't really realize that there could be indications and certain things that your body is going through when you're going through your menstrual cycle. But thank you for bringing that up. Is there anything that you want to, before we wrap up, that you want to say to the general public about breast cancer screening?
Yes. Please, if you have not scheduled your annual screening mammogram, please do so as soon as you can. Again, if you're 40 years old and above, an annual screening mammogram will really help decrease your risk of dying from breast cancer. We would find the cancer smaller and treatment would be much easier rather than if it's much more advanced. Annual screening mammography is really the gold standard of care when it comes to detecting breast cancer, and I hope you would all consider scheduling your mammogram this month.
Thank you so much, Dr. Peachy Piana. Very beautiful, very young radiologist who knows what she's saying, so we got to listen to the doctor. Thank you for joining us here on My Story. Coming up next, we'll talk with Guam Cancer Care. Happy day and welcome back to My Story. We have a very special guest here to wrap up this episode because October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and it's such a busy month for this group that I'm just very honored to have her here with us today on My Story. This is Nona Perez from Guam Cancer Care. Welcome.
Thank you for having me on here.
Well, this is not the first time you've been on My Story. A couple times already. Yes?
Correct.
How long has Guam Cancer Care been around?
Guam Cancer Care has been around for 10 years now.
Wow.
It was established in 2011. So as much as we want to celebrate our 10th birthday with a bang, considering the pandemic, we would just like to let everyone know that Guam Cancer Care is still around and still servicing our cancer patients on island.
So when you say still around, I mean, even during COVID, has that affected your mission at all with Guam Cancer Care?
Guam Cancer Care remained open throughout the pandemic. Our direct services remained open and continued the services with our cancer patients. We covered all ends to stay within the pandemic rules.
Guidelines.
Right,
Guidelines,
and all the guidelines. And you know what?
Which I'm
Even
sure
with
would have been
COVID,
pretty difficult, because then you
Right.
had to restructure how you do things, right?
Exactly. And even if COVID coming around, cancer has not stopped.
That's true.
Cancer is still going on. We still had patients coming to our door, registering. So regardless of the pandemic, we still want everyone to know that if you or anyone you know who's afflicted with cancer, to come and see us.
Okay.
We're more than happy to help.
So you, of course, obviously October is the month for pink,
Exactly.
right? Every cancer has a color, and breast cancer has the color pink, which I think is amazing because I think even men look good in pink, by the way.
Exactly.
So do we have a lot of things happening? If maybe you can give us some insight on what's happening in the month of October with
Yeah,
Guam
so
Cancer.
annually we have our Get Your Pink On campaign. And this is where I collaborate with 4 clinics on island and spread the awareness of the importance of breast cancer screening. Women at the baseline of 40 can receive their mammogram, and the clinics that we work with is MDX Imaging, Seventh Day Adventist, the FHP Clinic, and GRC.
Guam Radiology
Yes.
Consultants.
Yes.
My clinic is very good at sending me a letter saying it's that time of the year to get your
Yes.
mammogram. So they are definitely very diligent in
Right.
informing people. But if somebody hasn't ever
Right.
ever had a mammogram,
So we have a program with Public Health. It's called Guam Breast and Cervical Cancer Early Detection Program, and this is going out to women who don't have insurance or have low insurance. They can go ahead and call the Guam Breast and Cervical Early Detection Program and receive a free mammogram there.
Okay.
But if they do have insurance and they do have their primary caretaker, then they can receive, like you,
a letter that says
saying, reminding them to receive their mammogram. So the campaign begins October 1st till December 15th.
Oh, okay.
However, if you received your mammogram since the beginning of this year, January, you would just go ahead and call your mammotech and let them know that you're interested in joining the campaign, which Guam Cancer Care is offering a nice gift bag.
Oh, that's
to
nice.
10 of the polled participants by December 15th.
Okay.
And we will call those winners, and we'll be happy to give them their swag
Little
bag.
swag bag, I like
Yeah,
that. Okay, so you mentioned earlier that there are other things happening with
Yes.
Guam Cancer Care. So what's
Yeah,
exciting?
It's
that's
always
happening?
our busiest time of the month. And we've already started our Get Your Pink On wave. We do this wave every Friday at 4:30 right in front of our office. And this is just to show support to our breast cancer warriors, breast cancer survivors, and families who have unfortunately lost a member of their family to breast cancer. We want to let the community know that we support them and we are here for them, and we would like to invite the community to come out and wave.
Not necessarily at Guam Cancer Care,
Right.
anywhere, right?
Yes.
So they could step out of their office and if they're wearing pink and just wave.
Go ahead and wave.
Okay.
Right.
Any
Most-
kind of pink, really. Okay.
Pink color right in front of
Okay.
your office, right in front of your home. If you live by the road and you want to go outside, take your kids with you, get a fresh air.
Okay.
Put on your best pink and wave. Take
Okay.
a photo and post it up on your social media and hashtag Guam Cancer Care.
Okay, so just hashtag Guam Cancer Care.
Right.
Take a picture of yourself, your whole family.
Right.
I think I'm going to do that here at Sorensen.
Yes,
Probably get the
yeah.
whole company, and I think most companies may, possibly could do that, right? Just show your support for breast cancer awareness.
Right. The last Friday of this month, October 29th, would be our official big wave. So we would love to invite all our Join the Fight partners, all community members, teachers, health workers,
Everyone.
everyone.
Do it safely, though.
Do it
Okay,
safely,
all right.
keep distance, wear pink, wave, and show your support.
Thank you so much, Nona.
Thank you for
You
having
and
me.
everyone at Guam Cancer Care for everything that you do. We still have a long road ahead because breast cancer is still out there, and so there's no shortage of. You're more than welcome to come to the studio anytime and every October.
All right.
Okay. Thank you very much to Nona Paris from Guam Cancer Care. And I want to thank you for joining us here on My Story. My name is Louise. Stay tuned for more great stories here on My Story. Thank you to Christine Dula, Dr. Berg, and Dr. Piana from Guam Radiology Consultants, and Nona Paris from Guam Cancer Care. Help us fight breast cancer this month and every month by talking to your doctor and getting screened. It could save your life. Thanks for watching.